Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, while they premiere. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreon, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon, so a massive shout out of thanks and appreciation to Robert Withy, who's a new Patreon. Thank you very much for joining us, Robert. Open Minded, Reese Pound, Del West Watson, Mike, Henrik86, Muted, Dick Earth Skeptic, TheFlatEarthChannel.com, Chris Hillman, NA Literalist, Steve ALM, Maria Neelands, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Rob H, Burn Fat Till My Stomach is as Flat as the Earth, Nathan Thompson, The Real Gabster, Windrider, Missouri Bear, Liam Nedrick, Dank, Owen Jennisons, Abraham Mohammed, Dave Rakia Gafford, Naibai, Adrian Quintana, Skeptic936, Life is Short, Fireball X, Felix Hung, Texas Mike, Edwin Johnson, Kirsten Smith, Tina Baker, Alexander Main, and Dave Wayne Foster. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now I'm going to raise the mic on Discord and G+, so you can enjoy the dulcet tones of whoever the hell is in there while I set up for today's live show.
Well, that's the trick, ain't it?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's not. You know, he could have been, part of anything, right? But on the, to me and to my wife and to everybody around, he was a great guy. I understand the deception part. Like, I'm fully aware that there's good and evil, and
That's
how
the
evil
trick.
would work. Yeah, how evil would work like that. Yeah.
Look at it this way. If every single person that started drinking and then graduate to marijuana and then go on to heavy drugs and become a drug addict, then they would realize, hey, this is bad. That's Satan's little deception. Some get to the point where they're strung out on heroin, and some could just drink and smoke weed the rest of their lives and never move on.
Yeah.
He's crafty.
Yeah. It's not called the Great Deceiver for nothing.
Exactly.
All right, I'm pulling up on a job. I'll be in and out.
So what's going on, Nathan? Everything good?
Yeah, everything's fine. How are you?
All's well. All is well.
It's good even if you've got air conditioning. So you just, like I say, open the driver's door, walk around to the back passenger door, open it and close it 5 or 10 times, and then your air conditioning will work far more efficiently when it's working anyway, because it hasn't got to cool down all that hot air that's sat in the car.
Yeah, that's the problem. And the thing is, I have a black car, black leather and everything, so it's freaking boiling.
Got a sunroof.
Yeah, I do have the sunroof.
Even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went for a walk. I take my little girl out for a walk here and there. I went the
And
other
here,
day
Ryan, you're
and
so quiet.
But no.
Bit better.
Anyway, long story short, I was worried about, you get halfway through walking, like, what if I have one right now, So I was just looking at some epilepsy bracelets. Funny that this got brought up.
Yeah, well, look, when I'm driving, I always worry about that. What if I have a heart attack while I'm driving? I gotta tell
What if
my
I
wife
die?
what to do.
You won't care. You'll be dead.
No, but I'm saying for the people in my car, I tell my wife, if anything, you just gotta grab that freaking steering wheel and do something.
Yeah, but in realistic terms, you won't care.
Oh, no doubt about it. Yeah, I'm but I don't want to be floating up to see the Lord with my whole family.
What makes you think you're going to have a heart attack tomorrow?
What's that?
What makes you think you're suddenly going to have a heart attack?
No, sometimes when I'm driving, it's weird, Nathan. When you pass 50, like I'm 55, like the slightest pain in the chest area or anywhere in the back, you start getting paranoid.
It's just paranoia. Fair enough.
Change your diet.
Eat less red meat.
More vegan stuff.
Good morning.
Hey, 10th.
I'm past 50 and I get those pains. It's nothing. No worries.
No, they never happen. I know, but just in the back of your mind, you're thinking, is this going to be the one? Am I just going to freaking
so the pain,
seize up at
so
the
the
wheel
pain's in the
now?
back of your mind.
Yeah, that kind of paranoia and concern can have a detrimental effect on your health just by worrying about it.
No, I dismiss it right away. I'm just saying. There are times when, I'm driving and I don't know. Just
Hey,
if anything ever happens,
when I was
grab the
younger,
wheel.
When I was younger, you remember the car is an old car. It's called Valiant, made by Chrysler. And it's my mom's first car, but I got my license. So she says, go to the store, get me something. So on the way back on a major roadway, but not the freeway, the throttle got stuck. The cable broke or something. And all of a sudden, I'm going from 40 and it's going 60. I was just going crazy. It's just like someone put their foot on the gas pedal. And here I am, just licensed, just started to drive. And I could see it. I'm going to hit somebody soon, even though the highway's clear at the time. So I don't know what possessed me. I hit the brakes, and I could smell the brakes. I go, well, this ain't going to work. And my hand, without even thinking, went to the ignition, and I turned off the car.
Thank God, because that's what you're supposed to do. Yeah, the worst thing you can do is stamp on the brakes.
Wait, while you're in drive?
Yeah, because if you stamp on the brakes, all you do is boil the brakes within a minute.
Seconds. I was going 60 or something, man. It was scary as heck. I was a kid. I was just learning how to drive. They never taught you what to do when this happened. And fortunately, I just turned off the car and just, coasted.
Scary stuff.
Yeah, that was. So, do you have any ballers in Discord that want to talk about the nature of Earth? Or are they on permanent chat mode?
Even if they are, they're not going to come on.
Well, I'm throwing out the welcome mat for them, Neil. So many things to discuss.
I'm eating my lunch. Do you want to discuss that?
Your lunch? I love lunch. What are you eating?
Only the finest cheese and onion sandwich.
Good combo.
It's the best.
Cheese, onion?
Cheese and onions are great.
Cheese and grapes with pepperoni are great. With a nice piece of semolina bread.
Here we go. Nathan,
not very British. So.
What's your favorite lunch?
Award-winning pre-show stuff, this.
Yeah, I ordered a large New York-style meat lovers pizza yesterday, so I'm going to be having that for lunch to the leftovers today.
Could have had 10 hot corned beef sandwiches on hot poppy seed rolls by now.
Oh.
Noodles. You should have took the $1. That's from Once Upon a Time in America with Robert De Niro.
Cool.
So no ballers in Discord? I can't see who's there or not.
Yeah, there's one.
Who?
Hey, Fe Grease. Are you there, buddy? Fe Grease. Nope. Doesn't want to talk.
Oh, okay.
He's the only one, I think.
Well, I mean, for the longest time, they told us boats going over the curve proved the radius. I mean, now we've kind of debunked that. I'd like to hear what they say about it.
Now we've taken away their ball religion, you want to know how they feel about it?
Well, it's good to have therapy aftermath once they admit it, not before. Like Spurs always tries to give them therapy before they change. I'd like to help them after they change. So
Yeah.
It's good to get them to talk about it.
We never get to that stage.
I know that. I'm trying to get them there.
We're permanently at stage 3 in the, coping with loss. So they get past the denial and anger stage, and then they're on to bargaining, which is where we come in. But do they ever go beyond that into the depression, so that they can finally reach the acceptance stage? Well, no. So counselling them through the depression stage when they're still in... Normally they're at bargaining and then regress to denial or anger when they're defeated.
There was one guy in here yesterday doing. I was going to tell you that he was. He was a baller, and he's not admitting anything. But he said, "Oh, that would be so terrible. My dreams would be dashed."
What dreams does he have that only a sphere could fulfill?
Dejections.
Yeah, I mean that's what, well, but Nathan's hit it on the head a couple of times there. Where they just can't accept it. It's just the psychological part of it. They got them trained where we got to be able to go to outer space in order to, because we're going to die on this planet. This planet's not going to survive.
Oh, I see. The ultimate prepper.
Yeah, but that's weird, isn't it? That's like saying, the unicorns are going to come and get me, and therefore I need the, I don't know, whatever solution to that problem is that you give them. And then you debunk unicorns, and they're like, yeah, but I still need the solution to the unicorn problem. I still need to hang on to that. It's like, well, if your problem is that the planet might die, therefore you need space because you need the infinite nothingness to potentially have another blue marble style body that you can travel to. Well, once you realise that space is fake and this isn't a planet, it's just terra firma, it's it seems like it's all we have, then that's far more, for me, far more comforting than thinking I'm an who's making that noise? 10th.
Yeah,
flicking pages. Than feeling like you're an insignificant speck of dust in an infinite soup of nothingness. To me, that's quite bleak. So going, oh, right, okay. So when they look at the CMB and you go, okay, some of the people, even the heliocentrists, are defining this as being at the centre. So it could go from you're an insignificant speck of dust in an infinite soup of nothingness to this is all there is. We're it. Which makes us considerably more important.
That's my son's attitude. My oldest son that does not believe anything about flat Earth. He turns around. He says, "Well, then God created such a boring thing that all we are is this, and there's nothing else out there. That's kind of boring." I'm like, "Are you kidding me?"
Boring? Well, I mean, if
that's
excitement's
what
what
he
you're
says.
after, the fantasy of heliocentrism does have that to offer. It's very exciting. You've got all sorts of wars going on in a place that doesn't exist. Not even Narnia can top space in terms of its fanciful nature.
Yeah, but even if it was real, Nathan, he ain't reached it in our lifetime.
Yeah, but maybe he wants to be Luke Skywalker one day.
I know I did.
Right. Exactly. Travelling out in space and that sort of notion is, I don't want to say romantic, but it's cool, right? Space was cool.
So, Neil, let me ask you a question. the premise of your son's question is God creating something, and if it doesn't match the heliocentric model, then what God created is boring?
That's pretty much what he said. And I told him, I
Well,
said,
then-
listen, Jacob, if the Bible did say that God created what the heliocentric model is claiming it is, then yes, God could do that. But it does not say that in the Bible.
Is he actually a Christian? Does he care about what the Bible says?
Well, that's my beef with him. I said, Jacob, you got to start reading, otherwise I'm not
Ah,
gonna talk
right.
to you about it.
So you're appealing to
That
something
was
he has
my
no
next
interest in.
question.
Maybe stop appealing to the Bible.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, Neil.
Well, he
is,
brings it up. I don't bring it up.
Yeah, but he brings it up because he knows you believe.
Well, he's kind of a trickster because he tries to play my wife in the middle because he says this whole flat earth thing has got him going off the path and he's going to be believing anything, and I got to stop him. I said, Jacob, knock it off.
How old is he? 20.
Knock it off right now. Do not create a wedge between me and your mother.
Is he?
She believes what the Bible says, that it's a flat, emotionless plane. Don't start trying to throw this in there to trying to put a wedge between us.
How old is he?
17.
I mean, we've talked to him on the show before. That's the same one, right?
I mean, you've got
Yeah,
what, 2 or 3 years now till he's effectively beyond your reach. You know, he's still a child till he's about, 20-ish. So, don't give up. He is under your guidance at the end of the day, right?
Yeah, until he's 18. Then he's got to start kicking some money to the house if you want to live here, buddy.
Forget the 18 thing. I mean, I think that's nonsense. You're not an adult at 18.
I know that.
That's for
you haven't
sure.
got any experience. So at 18, you're still a kid.
Yeah, I remember when my middle son turned 18. It was the funniest thing. He said to me, "Well, I'm 18 now. I'm an adult. I can do what I want." I said, "Oh, thank God." He says, "What? You're happy too?" And I go, "Absolutely. Now, if you do something, they go after you. They don't come after me." I go, "But if you're going to live under my roof, you're going to follow the rules. So if you really want your freedom, you got to move out."
But if they
My
were sensible,
kids, compared to what I was, my kids are great. I was bad.
but if you were sensible, you'd stay at home and pursue a love interest. That would be the most sensible thing to do, because normally at about that age, you've got a job. And if you're living with your folks, even if they're charging you a certain amount of money to do so, you're the most cash rich. You've got the most disposable income of probably any group, right? Because you've not got a mortgage. You've probably not got car payments. If you have it's just the horrendous insurance because you're young. But you've got a massive amount of disposable income, right? So just go out and pursue women and live off the back of your folks when you're 18 and move out at about 21, 22. I'm giving this advice. I left home at 16.
Yeah,
I've
but
never
if you
charged
do,
my
Nathan,
kids.
you're right, because you could save, even if you're making minimum wage, in 10 years, you could have $100,000 saved.
Yeah, you've got so much disposable income because you haven't got a
Exactly.
mortgage, you haven't got all the crap and all the bills and all the rates that you have to pay. You haven't got any of that. You've just got your earnings, and it might be considerably less than your folks, but they've got all the mortgage and shit to cover, right?
They have no idea, Nathan.
I just wish I'd done that. I should have stayed at home a lot longer.
Yeah, I never charged rent to my kids after they turned 18. I just said, follow the house rules, do your share of work, and you're fine and save your money.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. Now, we are joined by Paul Hall and 10th Man in G+, together with a whole bunch of people, and Chocolate Sane, and a whole bunch of people in Discord, so welcome one and all.
Good morning, everybody.
Hello, hello, hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Any evidence of physical Earth?
Good morning.
Good morning.
There we go.
Excellent. Any signs of physical Earth curvature, formerly known as the geometric horizon?
Not from Ontario International Airport.
Hey, Owen.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
Oh God! Don't talk about the sun.
Hot, eh? Nice.
Melting.
I'm totally cooking here, like seriously. But
Nice.
yeah.
So there's evidence for the sun if you're cooking.
No, there isn't.
Not for the sun.
It's
not
just
the
really
distance.
freaking hot, and yeah, that is normally associated through cultural indoctrination with
Cultural.
the phenomenon of the sun apparition.
Excuse me, Ari. It's there. We just don't know the distance. You're telling me I don't see it?
No, he's not telling you that.
Yeah, but what is it? It's not a thing. It's an apparition.
Well, then your heat stroke is an aberration. Don't worry about it.
No, because that thing is not the cause of
That
the
wasn't
heat.
the question.
God. Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
No evidence for the distance to the sun.
Go, Neil, go.
They
It's
said
coming
no,
from that
no evidence.
direction.
These two with their sun battles.
Sun
one,
battles.
No. We have a direction, but we don't have a distance.
Any evidence of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
Not from where I'm at.
Man, maybe if there was some axial rotation, then maybe the winds would pick up or something.
Arwen's trying to get cooled off.
But there's no axial rotation from any direction.
Hold on, guys. My coworker might have proof that we're spinning. Go ahead.
Earth to people. So the gravity is real. The theory of gravity is a theory which explains the realization of the stuff.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
That was
Awesome. That was great.
Just one
Thank
question. Is it a colloquial or scientific theory? Or don't you know?
He asked the question: is it a colloquial or a scientific theory?
Oh, what?
Colloquial or
What does that
science? Colloquial means it's just a regular theory. Scientific means it has been validated.
So it goes by validated. Everything else is validated, and then so it's a theory that explains all of those validated points.
Right.
Wrong.
I feel bad for you, Chocolate.
Yeah, you mean wrong, not right.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
right.
I said right
Definitely
because
not
I'm
scientifically
walking away.
validated.
Anyway, I'm sorry, guys.
But it's nice to know that
That's what I have fun.
the general populace at large is under the misapprehension that gravity has some sort of scientific validity. It doesn't. There is no scientific evidence for gravity. It's merely a mathematical reification. Moving on.
I thought, hang on. Did they say that it's not a force?
No, she didn't mention anything about
I
that.
think it was done for comedic value. Let's not dwell on this too much. Someone has actually got work to do.
Come on, we haven't had a baller in the G Plus for a long time, Nathan.
No, I'm just saying that.
That's not a baller. Don't make that mistake. That was not a baller. That was a normie. There's a big difference.
Exactly.
Yeah, she's a normie.
Well, the normie,
a normie wanting to be a baller.
Yeah.
Eric
Good
Valinder
description.
said, "Go out to the rooftops and shout that gravity's not a force."
However, jumping on the mic.
About that. She doesn't even know the difference between colloquial and scientific.
Trust me, I've told her.
Doesn't matter. She sat in front of Morpheus, and that's chocolate in this example. Chocolate is the Morpheus. And he's holding out his hands with his 2 pills in them. And believe me, she's got to gobble one of them. And I know which one she's already gobbled.
Hey, chocolate, I got a good one for you.
Basically, yep.
Chocolate, from now on, have a red pill and a blue pill in each of the palm of your hands and walk up to people and just say, which one do you want before we start talking?
I should do that.
That'd be awesome.
You take the blue pill, you stay in Wonderland. Excellent. Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
No.
What happens if you mix the blue pill and the red pill and then take them both?
Get the purple pill.
You have an Arwen.
Purple pill.
Oh, shit.
Look it up.
Yeah, that's right.
Look it up. Purple pill.
No, Nathan, you have an Arwen. He argues both sides real well.
You got white pills, you got black pills, you got purple pills, you got red pills, blue pills.
That's because Arwen is mad smart.
Moving on. Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
No, only in a Tootsie Roll Pop. That's it.
I'm still on about the pills, though. You know, what would happen?
Let it go, Arwen.
let me do this. Like, what would happen if in the Matrix he would have mixed the pills and then take it? Would then, like, his person stay in the Matrix while his body is being ejected?
Yes.
In the physical world?
I think so. Yes. I think that extrapolation is reasonable based on the film and its plot and the subcontext of the pills. Yeah, what they say is it's detecting his input-output carrier signal so that they can locate him to pull him out of the machine that's got him plugged in, right? Well, what happens if you unplug someone while they're still plugged in? You kill them. So therefore, if he takes both and he simultaneously wakes up in his bedroom in the Matrix whilst they're unplugging him from the pod, that's just going to kill him, right?
Right. Okay,
Go to work on the script, Arwen.
I did not do that.
Get in touch with the Wachowski sisters.
Right. Anyway, let's move on.
Good transition.
Boom, boom. That was great. Any evidence of the R value, Earth radius?
No way.
It's just primordial word soup.
Black Swan.
Yeah, the Black Swan took a dump in that word soup.
Did Al Balloony find the radius?
Very graphic, Alwyn, but yes, that's right.
Yeah.
The swan took a dump in that word soup that is the geometric horizon, otherwise known as Earth curve. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it, Alwyn. Shout out to Unitox Femu. Says, Nathan, why your proofs are not lovely. Okay.
I think that's an ode to Michelle Thaler, who said the other proofs are more obscure, but they're very lovely.
Ah, right.
Yep.
Don't forget the doctor, Michelle Thaler.
Yeah, I don't even remember that. I already forgot it. Thanks. Won't be calling her doctor anything.
What is her doctorate in? Michelle Fowler?
I think astronomy.
Astronomy. Oh, right.
Right.
One of the pseudosciences, I see.
How do you get a doctorate in looking at stuff? What's going on, man?
A lot of it's based in maths. It's mathematical. Abstract. What it's all about, right?
Well, looking at stuff and then math.
Well, looking at stuff and then naming it. Astronomy.
Wild.
Astronomy, right? Astronaming.
It's tough work because you got to eat lunch and listen to iTunes while you do it. It's tough.
Could be a lot of emails to respond to while you're doing the maths and making up your just so stories and naming stuff in the sky.
Are you referring to Dr. Becky?
Hey, Nathan,
No.
I just looked up for the definition of the word doctor, and the funny thing is that the first thing, definition, the first thing that popped up is a person who is qualified to treat people who are ill. Does that include mentally ill?
That's a medical doctor.
It just says it outright. So the general definition apparently is that.
Have you ever watched Friends when Dr. Geller has got to explain and Rachel's explain everyone that Rachel meets and introduces him as Dr. Geller? She's like, "It's not a real doctor." Every single person. He's not a medical doctor. Hi, I'm Dr. Geller. Yeah, he's not a medical doctor.
Right. Oh, somebody who holds the highest university degree is apparently a doctor as well.
Yeah, someone with a doctorate. That's right.
Okay, that's.
But you can have doctorates in all sorts of things, like Ross Geller, doctor of dinosaurs.
Right. Well, when I just typed it in doctor definition, the first thing that popped up in the suggestions that it was basically a medical doctor only. Didn't give the other options as a first glance. Anyway,
Dr. Faulkner.
It's
Well,
Fowler,
it's also
isn't it?
used. It's also used by people to say someone was cooking the books.
Yeah.
He doctored that up.
Falsify and manipulate.
Yep.
Isn't that interesting?
Very.
It is. It is.
To doctor. What are you doing?
fascinating.
Just doctoring stuff? Last but by no means least, any evidence that you can have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container to press upon?
Nope, no evidence for that. We're still waiting for that. It should be something they could show us, right? Because they say that's what we live in.
What?
Hold on, I have a doctor.
Gas go down, go
Dr.
boom, boom
Phil
is not a good enough explanation?
No, gas
Dr.
doesn't have
Phil
a
Bell
downward
said the
vector
sun.
exclusively, no.
Did you see the response video from again?
From who?
From Thunderf00t.
Another
Brian
response
posted
video?
it. Brian posted that in Master B, didn't you see that?
No, I didn't see. He's done another response video. Excellent. I'll have to check it out.
It's been
not really
doctored,
a
I'm sure.
response. He talks about you for like a few minutes, and then goes on to bitch about the vacuum cleaner again.
Vacuum cleaner?
It's clickbait. It's really what. Yeah, like apparently you guys had some disagreement on what a vacuum cleaner was, or he straw manned your position. The video is completely boring. I have no idea how I kept my eyes awake for it or eyes open for it.
I'm totally lost. Vacuum cleaner? What are we talking about? We're talking about the Sky vacuum claimed to be 10 to the minus 17 torr. Not a vacuum cleaner. What's he babbling about?
Yeah, it's hilarious. I feel like he
Does he think
suffered
we're
a head
talking about a
injury and
Dyson
then
or something?
decided to
What's
make.
going on with him?
I'll check it out.
Yeah, you just have to check it out. It's hilarious. It doesn't make any sense at all. It's like incoherent rambling for about 30 minutes, and about the first 5 are about you.
30 minutes? What did he fill the other 25 with?
Incoherent rambling about a vacuum cleaner. Literally.
About vacuum cleaners?
Something on GoFundMe, I guess. Some guy who decided he wanted to make a type of dryer.
Okay.
A vacuum cleaner.
Right, fine. So my comparison is to say that when he's debunking somebody who's making claims about a dryer that uses vacuum pressure, he goes to the effort of actually producing something and making a demonstration that utilizes a vacuum chamber to show how much he can dry something with a vacuum. In other words, he's doing a comparison like for like and saying, this is what it will achieve, this is how it achieves it, here's how it does it, here's my practical demonstration. Now, my point in bringing that up is that, number one, in his examples, he also shows space in that very video. So he's talking about vacuums, giving a practical demonstration, and then in my response, I've said, why is it that we don't get a practical demonstration? We get you using a false equivalence, pouring out bouncy balls into a fish tank, as opposed to something that involves a vacuum without a container, as asserted by the heliocentric world. So my utilisation of this other debunking, I'm sure that debunking was very good. Got absolutely no qualms with him whatsoever in terms of his debunking of some muppet that is trying to flog a vacuum-powered tumble dryer. Good for you. Debunk that nonsense. Good for you. But it got a practical demonstration, not a false equivalence. So that was my point in highlighting that.
But that's actually kind of a smart way to use it, you know? Using a vacuum or lower pressure definitely causes the boiling point of water to go down dramatically. So that's actually a really smart way to get the water out of the...
Oh, or to get the water out of our oceans by having a sky that's a vacuum.
Yeah. That too.
Right, so given that you'd need a container to have gas pressure in the first instance, in other words, without the container there can be no pressure, why would it be the case that I give a crap about his assertions about someone else with their vacuum chamber when my argument is about the sky vacuum, outer space being fake? I don't care about some vacuum, but if he's waffled on about that as a straw man for 25 minutes to pad out his content, then good for him. He did the same on the last response. So there was like virtually nothing to it after he's dealt with me. He just babbles on about the vacuum and I just switched it off. I just lost interest.
He's a moron.
Yeah, Thunderf00t is a clown. You know, he thinks gas has an exclusively downward vector because he's got a religious belief in a not actual force of gravity. When gas doesn't have an exclusively downward vector, you don't sweep it up at the end. You don't have to do that with gas. It fills the availability of volume it has to fill. If the sky's a vacuum, the gas is going to expand in all directions and fill that availability of volume. It's described by entropy, second law of thermodynamics. Well, let's put it this way. Our claim has not changed. We haven't mentioned vacuum cleaners. That just creates a differential in pressure. Well, the sky vacuum would also be that differential. So if you want to compare it to a vacuum cleaner of some description, you're just creating a differential in pressure. Well, the skies claim to be 10 to the minus 17 torr. A massive difference. And the gas we're breathing would fill it, if it was true. It's not. We wouldn't have any gas. Therefore, space is fake. Pretty simple. The rebuttal from Thunderf00t is no. Gas has weight. It goes down. Look, watch. If I pour bouncy balls into something, they go down. Therefore, gas go down. Go boom boom, like bouncy balls. No. Gas behaviour is not analogous to solid behaviour. They're completely different. They're unbonded. The molecules of gas expand in all directions. They don't have an exclusively downward vector. It's nonsense. He's just a moron. You're a clown, Thunderf00t. I'll have a look at your video, but I am in no doubt whatsoever that you will not be demonstrating gas pressure without a container, as asserted by the heliocentric model of Earth, with its second law of thermodynamics violation sky vacuum. You won't be demonstrating that that is possible in violation of natural law. Because it isn't. Sky is not a vacuum, outer space is fake. In the 5 minutes he did address me, did he have anything of any use? Or was it just another circle jerk reassertion of gravity and gas go down, go boom boom?
It was even worse than that. He actually had the gall to basically try to approach it from how pointless flat earthers are. He did like a psychological hit attempt on the flat earthers themselves in this video. I don't know, and after like 5 minutes I stopped watching because it just made me want to throw up. He might have gotten to some actual supposed technical arguments, but I never got to that. He was just blabbering on about how stupid flat earthers were and all that. It's just unbelievable.
Okay, but good to know we were under his skin and he feels a response is necessary. Excellent, this tete-a-tete can continue. I'd forgotten all about Thunderf00t, to be perfectly ruthless.
All right, I posted the link again in the Ballbuster Skype, by the way, for you.
Yeah, check it out. I won't watch it while we're doing the live show, but I will check it out.
I recommend
Also,
that
Nathan,
if he wants to. I like to recommend that if he wants to talk about vacuum cleaners, Nathan, you just give him some space. Just leave him be.
I'll do my best. Boom, boom.
Hold on. He considers us stupid, but he denies science.
Let's not get into the ad homs. I don't care. Sorry, Neil. I'm really sorry to do this to you. Yeah, I am in no doubt that he will revert to type. He's a globehead. So his automatic go-to is to ridicule. So that will be without saying. But I'm not interested in ad homing us and psychologically analysing us, if I didn't have a cold. I don't care. Yeah, it's water off a duck's back. What's your argument? What's your rebuttal? That's all I'm interested in. Oh, right, you think I'm thick. Oh, right, you think we've got psychological problems. Couldn't give a crap. Not relevant to the subject and the discussion. We're debating the nature of reality. He's a small-minded idiot clown that wants to discuss people and how they are. No, we're discussing the nature of reality, Thunderfoot. Thought you're a scientist. Aren't you more interested in ideas than people? Clearly not. Very lowbrow moron.
Well, that's what I said. He denies science and natural law. So I think he's projecting.
Yeah. While he's denying natural law and science, he's simultaneously telling other people how thick they are. Yeah, just another logical fallacy ad hominem attack if there's no actual rebuttal attached. Now, I will automatically assume this because I know that you're not going to violate natural law with a rebuttal. Yeah, Nobel Prize waiting for you if you violate the second law of thermodynamics, Thunderfoot. You won't. I am correct here. That will never change. Therefore, he will not have a response. But the fact that I'm already aware, by you guys having watched it and me not watching it, that he's attacking us personally, or me personally. What a shock. No, we need to see gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container in violation of natural law to justify your fundamentalist religious assertion that the sky is a vacuum in violation of the second law of thermodynamics. Your current rebuttal as it stands is gas go down, go boom boom like bouncy balls. Because it's got a downward vector with gravity. That is not how gas behaves. Gas does not require sweeping up. It does not go down, go boom boom with a single vector of gravity. That is not what gas does. Thunderfoot is wrong. He simply doesn't understand gas behaviour. He's been demonstrated a moron by us, which is why he's responded. Now, moron, clown show, Thunderfoot, take this as my response. I don't even need to watch your video. You will have not demonstrated gas pressure without a container, as per the heliocentric, fundamentalist, religious worldview that you have, with your feet believed to be stuck to the side of a spinning water ball in a vacuum. Now, the sky is not a vacuum. If the sky was a vacuum, then the gas we breathe would fill the space. This is inviolable natural law. No rebuttal will come from Thunderfoot in this regard. He has no clue what he's dealing with. So his ad hominem attacks are irrelevant.
Yeah, and by the way, Neil at Discord, he did call it with the projection thing, because what I got out of it from those 5 minutes is that he was kind of like trying to project onto the flat earthers exactly what you typically do and what we all tend to do in our analysis of how the globe earthers deal with the situation. And he basically tried to emulate that, to kind of like copycat that scenario. For those that don't know the situation really, they could probably fall for it at first. And then
imitation is the highest form of flattery, Arwen.
Right, he was. But he was really that desperate. He was really trying to copy paste and turn inside out what we typically do with ballers. Yeah, in reaction from our side to them just not having even any technical arguments that they can uphold. And he was trying to project that onto, well, the flat earthers in that video.
I see. The Hillary Clinton approach. Project your own digressions onto your opponent. Very smart there, Thunderfoot. Other than we couldn't give a crap about your ad hominem attacks, we're only looking for a response in terms of the second law of thermodynamics violation claim that we have a sky vacuum.
Did he ever respond to gas being bouncy balls and give an answer to that once we called him out on it?
I don't know. He
So
might
he
have
avoided.
done that later in the video, but I didn't get to it.
What about
Anybody who watched it? Did he ever?
Hold on, 10th. Chris,
Yep.
you watched the whole video. Was there any response to how you can have gas pressure without a container, which is the actual question on the table?
Yeah, his thing was he did this weird thing where he dropped a bunch of bouncy balls into an aquarium and said, notice how the balls don't have enough force to bounce back out of the aquarium. That's gravity. And then
Wow,
made out-
so
and
he
made
is-
fun
Hold
of
on.
he is-
Jordan.
This is the same video. He's not made a new response. This is the same video.
Yeah, maybe it's just a rehash. He just cut and pasted. Maybe he just voiced over the old video or something like that.
Are you saying
he labeled it?
When was this released? When was this actually released and published?
I sent you a message in Discord. I'm trying to see when that. So on the 29th, so 2 days ago.
Oh, so it is new. Oh, so he's just he's doubled down on his bouncy balls. Gas go down, go boom boom. He's doubled down on it. Seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Right.
I talked
and it
to, like,
was
this
premiere, so
astrophysics
it
guy
was
one
a
time.
recording. He didn't live stream anything new. So yeah, he doubled down.
Fake
Double
Cleary
down, go
is not
boom
me.
boom.
Okay, Cleary. Thank you for the super chat. I'll see if I can ban whichever the fake Cleary is.
The only time I ever heard a real coherent argument that made sense at all was that I talked to this astrophysics guy who said that in a way the atmosphere is being captured by the moon, that the atmosphere leaves and it bounces off the moon and kind of goes back and forth. I'm like, that sounds ridiculous, but at least it's an answer. At least it's not just saying.
Oh, come on, man! Did someone actually said that?
No, a guy I talked to when I was like doing this flat Earth stuff, and I was on the fence. I'm like, well, okay, so you've got a vacuum here, and you have the Earth, and I just never understood fully, even when I was like, on the globe side, how does the vacuum not pull atmosphere away? Like, basically, like the space balls are kind of like we're talking about space balls. I go, is that like a joke? And he says, well, in a way, this is even before that article came out about how the moon is inside Earth's atmosphere. He said, basically, astrophysically, matter is captured all within the sphere of the moon. It was kind of like a Dante's Inferno quote, which we were talking about that right before. He said, so
Say that quote again. Something is captured. Matter is what?
Yeah, all matter or ideas are captured within the sphere of the moon. It was like a weird, like Dante had just said it right before he left hell in the book. Like somehow he became more aware of the cosmos or whatever.
That is so ridiculous of a statement.
Yeah, but I think it's less ridiculous than telling me I don't understand physics and stuff. At least he gave an answer that was not an ad hom, which I thought was quite clever.
No, you just make that crap up stuff. That's not even. I mean, at least it wasn't an ad hom, yeah. But to just pull something like that, I was going to say out of thin air, but there's no air up there. So
that sounds totally retarded.
It is retarded.
And that was a college physics professor that told me that.
Well, see, they have to believe all this stuff in order to keep their doctorates and have their professorship. So they have to keep it going. It's a pretty simple argument that we put out in the housekeeping question. If you introduce gas into a vacuum, it's going to fill the available space. That is demonstratable. What they're saying is not demonstratable. It's the opposite. You can't have gas pressure, keyword pressure, next to an empty vacuum with no barrier, or it'll fill the space. This is so obvious.
Right, I think I found the bit where we've got him actually doubling down. Should we have a listen? It's my first time hearing this.
Yeah, go.
Without a container.
Oh, so close. You just missed off that little bit on the end there. An explanation for gases dumbed down to the point that even flat earthers might be able to understand it. Might.
Nathan, I just don't understand.
Sorry, he didn't actually say anything. So what? We don't understand? That's his rebuttal by showing the same exact thing and saying it's been dumbed down to the point where we might understand that gas behaves like solid bonded bouncy balls and goes down, go boom boom. No, my video had a response to that. It was a helium balloon going up and going boom boom. So no response to that, just an assertion that we don't understand his explanation that gas behaves like solid bonded bouncy balls. No, Thunderfoot, you complete clown. You seem to be doubling down on your assertion that gas behaves like bonded bouncy balls. No, it doesn't. Gas expands in all directions to fill the availability of volume it has to fill. Why would you double down on your complete nonsense that we've taken the piss out of you for? My word, man. You still think gas goes down, go boom boom, you complete clown? Oh, well, then we'll continue to ridicule you for your abject stupidity, Thunderfoot. Gas does not go down, go boom boom, like bouncy balls in a fish tank. Gas expands in all directions. It's unbonded at an intermolecular level. So, no, you Thunderfoot clown. What a moron.
Well, he's more the moron than he thinks. Or I have 4 900-gallon fish tanks for my aquaponics. 2 are currently stocked with fish and running. I have gas pressure through a tube, through an air stone at the bottom, and when I leave that on so they can have their oxygen, guess where that air goes when I turn it on?
It goes
up.
down, go boom boom?
No, it goes up.
Oh.
What a dummy.
Yeah, at a fundamental level, Thunderfoot does not understand gas behaviour. He certainly doesn't understand the claim of the heliocentric model with a 10 to the minus 17 torr vacuum and unbonded gas next to it. He thinks that gas goes down, go boom boom like solid bonded bouncy balls. He's a complete moron. Thunderfoot, I'm a flat earther and I'm telling you, you are thick, stupid, retarded, dense, because you think solids behave like gases. Different states, mate. Fundamentally different in their behaviour, mate. You clown moron. You don't understand gas behaviour. You certainly don't understand entropy.
He does it because if gas went down and went boom boom, I'd only have to turn my air compressors on for the certain hours of the day, knowing the oxygen would be at the bottom for the rest of the time when it's off, but it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, the gases get all mixed up in our atmosphere. We have very dynamic systems, so they don't get to separate into the different densities. It's an anisotropic mixture of gases. That's what we actually have, because we have different pressures and things, a dynamic system. But without the container, there can be no pressure. So, to reassert our question in the first instance, how can we have gas pressure, that would be the stuff we're breathing, without the necessary antecedent of a container for the gas to press upon? Given that the assertion by the heliocentric bullshit world of a sphere Earth in a vacuum is the assertion that we have gas pressure with no containment in a 10 to the minus 17 torr vacuum, a violation of the second law of thermodynamics. The response, doubled down now, by Thunderfoot is to say gas goes down, go boom boom, like these bonded bouncy balls. And once they're finished bouncing after I've poured them, I'll sweep them up with a dustpan and brush like gas, because that's how gas behaves. No, Thunderfoot, you are fundamentally retarded.
Somebody buy him some clown shoes.
That's got to be the best example he could have ever shown.
Couple of shout outs. So all the people who made me memes with Thunderfoot as a clown, thank you very much. I could do with a few more, because there's going to be a few more thumbnails required.
Nathan, do you think that he really believes the bouncy ball bullshit explanation, or that he's at this point just doing it for money and basically gaslighting his own audience? What do you
I have
think?
no idea. I'm not going to divine his thoughts. However, he has doubled down on it. He has reasserted it by way of ad hominem in regards to our understanding. You don't understand. It's been dumbed down so much. How could you not understand? What, that gas behaves like solid bonded bouncy balls? It doesn't. How can you not understand, claim to be scientist, that gas behaviour is not the same as solid behaviour? They are fundamentally different. Now that makes you a clown. Now it's very nice for me as a flat earther to say to somebody much, much bigger and who goes around boasting his accreditation to various other zealots who he encounters, to have me, the flat earther, point out at a fundamental level that this clown, Thunderfoot, is retarded and doesn't understand basic principles of gas behaviour. He thinks they behave like solids. No, that makes him a retard, and I'm very proud as a flat earther to call the globe-believing moron that is Thunderfoot clown a clown. Because he is. And now I, like with the other people who come here, simply demonstrate why he's a clown. Gas doesn't require sweeping up because it has a single downward vector, like the solid bonded bouncy balls used in his demonstration. That is not how gas behaves. Gas expands in all directions. It doesn't have an exclusively downward vector. Thunderfoot, you moron. You're being educated with an actual point. Not me claiming how thick you are, only to then move on. No. You're thick because you don't understand gas behaviour. You think it goes down, go boom, boom. I can debunk that with a helium balloon, Thunderfoot, you abject moron.
It gets worse, Nathan. It not only doesn't have an exclusively downward vector, I have to run a air pump through hose and pressurize it and put the air stone at the bottom so it can come up. So dumb. I have a faucet in there with pressure.
Yeah, but after it has risen above the higher pressure water, it does go down, go boom, boom again, right?
No.
No?
No.
Expands in all directions at different speeds, depending what it's bouncing off of, where it's itself or a container.
You have to skim a gas layer off the top of a pond ever, Arwin?
Yeah, man. I did it once.
Oh.
It might be because the cannabis was really strong. I just thought I did. Just kidding. No, I didn't. I didn't actually do it. But you can
see, you know what I see here, Nathan, is that they believe in their heliocentric lie so much that they think with these little examples of balls in an aquarium, and obviously it's a solid versus a gas, that escapes them. And they don't see how embarrassing it is when asked to prove how their model works. But they, with all confidence, start proving, as they think, how their model works. And this guy uses an aquarium with solids and says this is gas. This is equivalent to how gas works. And they're not even aware how embarrassing it is when they do it, because that's how much they're into it.
Yeah, we're dealing with clowns. It doesn't matter what level. They've all been brainwashed with the same nonsense, and they will humiliate themselves in defence of that nonsense if they're a globehead. Thunderfoot is clearly a globehead. It's not a normie. So therefore he's going to humiliate himself in every single challenge. Well, fine by me. More power to you, Thunderfoot. Keep coming back with your double down nonsense that gas go down, go boom boom like your solid bonded bouncy balls in your example. You keep up that nonsense, my friend. And I'll keep pointing out that that's not a gas. That's not how gas behaves, that they're fundamentally different states, and for you to declare that gas behaves like solid bonded bouncy balls not only can be debunked by a helium balloon, but makes you an abject moron. I, the flat earther, am pointing out how the globehead is moronic. This would be Thunderfoot Clown and his moronic declaration that bonded solid behaves like unbonded gases. No, clown. No. But I, the flat earther, am more than proud to point that out to you, you clown. Let's keep going. Triple down on this nonsense. Hopefully you'll never get to the point where you actually concede that pouring balls into a fish tank is not the same as gas. Maybe use a gas. How about that?
Wow, what a bright idea.
kind of like he did when he debunked the guy with the vacuum chamber. He made a vacuum, analogous to the guy's vacuum, right? Well, why the false equivalence? Why change unbonded gases into solids with bonds? Would it be so you can assert that it's got a downward vector? Because that's what your solid does when it's in air. What's the air doing? Is that needing sweeping up like the bouncy balls? No, it isn't, is it now? It's expanding in all directions, because that's gas behaviour, unlike solid behaviour. But Thunderfoot Clown is a retard. Like, at a base level, he's just stupid. Doesn't understand how gas behaves. You'd think he would. He's a scientist. Claims to be a scientist.
Yeah, but they all do it. They just did it this week when we were talking about the black swan and what happened to their Earth curve. They need a geometric horizon. They don't. You can never see it, but that's their Earth curve. So they're basically saying in one argument that we can't see Earth curve.
Yeah, we're not going to get to the black swan with Thunderfoot. He's never going to stop doubling down on his gas go down, go boom boom like solid bonded bouncy balls. He's just going to keep juggling those Thunderfoot Clown balls.
I wasn't referring. Yeah, no, he's stuck over there. I'm just saying this thing with Thunderfoot is replicated in all the other arguments because they do the same thing. You say, what's blocking the bottom of boats? They go, Earth curve. You say, all right, well, show us Earth curve where it's supposed to be based on your geometric horizon, based on geometry, based on the radius, based on Al-Biruni.
It's all word soup, Deathman.
No, I'm saying they make the same mistake. They do the same thing. Well, we can't see Earth curve. Oh, so there is no Earth curve. So what are they arguing for?
They're perpetually stuck in a doubling down on their own stupidity over and over again, while simultaneously just telling their audience how stupid we are, while they all clap like penguins. Isn't he great? He said they were stupid. Yeah, he didn't actually address anything that we refuted him with, though, did he now?
No, I didn't see the show, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, neither did I. But like I say, I'm in absolutely no doubt whatsoever that he hasn't violated that natural law. Entropy won't have been violated by Thunderfoot, and that's what he needs, an entropy violation. Good luck with that, Thunderfoot.
Paul's got a GIF going.
Have a look. Oh, what do you know? The gas would fill the space. Why aren't these balls going down, go boom boom? They seem to be expanding in all directions, Paul.
I don't know. I think this thing called wanting to fill all available microstates. I think there's a thing called with entropy. I'm not sure.
Oh, you've got to dumb it right down for somebody as moronic as Thunderfoot. Don't mention microstates. The level of moronic that we're dealing with in the case of Thunderfoot's never going to understand such terminology. He thinks gas behaves like bouncy balls. So microstates, no, you're getting way too complicated for a clown. See, I can add hom too, Thunderfoot. You moron. You understand what a microstate is, moron?
Oh, sorry. I was talking. I forgot I still had myself on mute. But here's another one. This is actually a better representation of microstates. You got a barrier with a gas over on the left side. If I remove the barrier, this is usually when you hear about entropy, increase in entropy, and they always use gas as their illustration, which is interesting. I don't know why they would use gas if it doesn't obey the laws of the increase in entropy. But if I put the barrier back, it stays. If I remove the barrier, it wants to fill the available volume each time, every single time.
We've got a practical demonstration. Chocolate, any chance you can dig out the practical demonstration with bromine?
Yeah, give me a second or two.
Again, we're being very kind to educate Thunderfoot with practical demonstrations of entropy. That would be gas expanding into an available volume, Thunderfoot? Occupying all the available microstates? We can show that with gas. Bromine! It's a really, really simple demonstration. It's just a demonstration of an increase in entropy.
One of these bulbs, some bromine, and in the other, I have a vacuum. And if I open the tap between these two, you will see spontaneously the bromine rush from one to the other. Now that is the simplest change we can have, perhaps, because all that happens is a change in entropy. In this case, the expansion into a vacuum, nothing else is involved. There's no energy change, there's no temperature change, there's no change except entropy. So without the entropy
the gas expands into a vacuum. And the skies claim to be a vacuum, an available space for that entropy increase to take place. And what he's just described is natural law. Inviolable. Applicable always. So if the sky was a vacuum, the gas, like the bromine, but the gas that we're breathing, would expand in all directions and fill the sky vacuum. It's called an entropy increase. It's very well detailed. Obviously, we wouldn't get into the detail of microstates with someone like Thunderf00t. We need to dumb this right down for a clown that thinks that gas behaves like bouncy balls. It doesn't. None of the gas in that demonstration fell to the bottom of the chamber. Obviously, it didn't behave like Thunderf00t's bouncy balls. He's a moron. And how proud it is to tell this moron globe-believing retard how moronic he is as a flat earther who does understand entropy, who does understand how fake space is and how he's been deceived, and how that deception has left him making declarations of absolute stupidity to audiences of almost 1 million people. Almost 1 million people being poisoned with his abject stupidity about how gas behaves. No practical demonstration with a gas. Him pouring a solid into a fish tank. What an abject moron. I really enjoy telling Thunderf00t how stupid he is. With total justification and a smile on my face. Not, you didn't understand me pouring bouncy balls into a fish tank. It was dumbed down too much for you flat earthers. No, we have natural law, which we can describe with the number of available microstates that would be on offer by a sky vacuum. Because we understand entropy here, Thunderf00t. Unlike you moron, who thinks that solids behave like gases, making you thick. Are we all proud to be telling this 1 million subscriber moron globehead how thick he is? I'm proud. Proud to be a flat earther.
Oh, yeah.
You bet on that one. Yeah, I got a gift for you in Master B if you want to use it.
It's some fish.
Well, plus the air. It's not going down boom boom.
Oh, right, the gas not... Yes, you didn't see that. Gas go down, go boom boom. Oh, it seems like maybe medium's got something to do with it. You know, solids through the medium of gas that we're talking about. They'll go down, go boom boom, right? They're more dense. Of course, we're not talking about solid bonded bouncy balls when we ask how we can have gas pressure without the necessary antecedent of a container to press upon. Because you'll need that to have gas pressure in the first place.
Have you guys ever seen, well, I guess you could say, well, no, even a baseball. Have anyone ever seen a 2,000 mile an hour bouncy ball moving around anywhere in nature?
No, but that's about the approximate speed of a gas molecule, right?
Yep, relatively speaking, yes. It's around 2,000 miles an hour. So I've never seen a 2,000 mile an hour bouncy ball bouncing around.
And is it 2,000 miles an hour in an exclusively downward vector only to stop when it hits the ground? Like a bouncy ball does?
Nope, it wants to go in all directions. When it collides with another gas particle, they change direction. They go in all kinds of different directions when they collide, just like my gift is showing.
Right.
They collide and they go in all kinds of different directions.
But these would be described as elastic in terms of the collision type. They're not actually transferring any energy. There's no increase or decrease.
Right, that's what elastic collisions are. Yeah, exactly. You got it.
Getting very complicated here, talking about gas behavior and elastic collisions, microstates. maybe we should dumb this down for somebody so retarded that they think gas behaviour is the same as solid behaviour. Any chance we can dumb this down for the moron Thunderfoot? He don't understand. He think gas go down, go boom boom, like a clown with juggling balls.
Let's try one from his own side. Without the balloon, there can be no pressure.
Yeah, that's another conspiracy cat quote. Without the balloon, there is no pressure. And his other quote, without the container, there can be no pressure. These are conspiracy cat quotes. Ah. Yeah, entropy's a bitch if you've got a sky vacuum belief.
Just heard Professor Phil Bell in chat saying, show us the bromine demonstration in the scale of the atmosphere.
Sorry, he thinks
like it's going to make a difference.
Yeah, we had that from the dude who was on the other day, didn't we? He asserted that, yes, it does it on the small scale, the gas will fill the availability of volume. However, if I scale it up to a 10 to the minus 17 torr vacuum, then the gas will go down, go boom boom, like bouncy balls asserted by Thunderfoot Clown. No. If you increase the power of that vacuum by relieving it of more matter, then the gas isn't going to suddenly go down, go boom boom by scaling that vacuum up. And what do you know? The scale of the vacuum claimed to be a sky vacuum is 10 to the minus 17 torr, the most powerful vacuum claimed to be in existence. And yet, it's standing in violation of natural law with the gas we're breathing not filling it, as per the second law of thermodynamics. Applicable always. Inviolable natural law.
Do you remember when I did the Rand McWest, was it one-dimensional two-space or two-dimensional one, whatever you want to call it?
Pseudo-McWestian. It's pseudo-McWestian two-space.
I actually, in his own simulator, he had gravity in play. It was working. But over time, and I've got a little GIF here that I created from that, the gas still filled the space. It's my little GIF.
Yeah, I've saved that GIF and spread it around. Trust me.
It's the gift that keeps gifting.
Boom, boom.
Boom, boom. Go splash, splash.
Well, that was quite a fair old chunk of content off the back of Thunderfoot, considering I haven't even watched his video yet. Or scrubbed through it to find the relevant bit where he talks about gas going down, go boom, boom like bouncy balls, and to hear his "you don't understand" doubling down. Wonderful. Top marks for your clowning. Any more to add on this subject?
No, I think it was very thorough, especially this gift that Paul's got, which is a baller, and he's got gravity supposedly in the mix here, right, Paul? There's supposed to be gravity in this thing, and it's still going away?
Yep, there's still gravity on that blue ball.
What's gravity?
But whatever it is, they doing what they're saying.
What, sorry, Paul, you say you've got gravity in this simulation. What's that?
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be this traction towards mass.
No,
you know,
that's incorrect.
Towards mass.
No, gravity is not a force. It's the bending of pseudo-Ramonian force space, length, breadth, depth, and space-time. That's an Einsteinian mathematical reification that you're trying to describe as a force when it's not a force even in the maths. What's going on, Paul?
Well, you know that at the higher, as further you get away from this blue object, time starts to speed up, creating a force. As it's slower towards the mass and it speeds up, so you got this acceleration with time going on, and it's creating this force that's causing those gas particles to go back down.
Sorry,
boom, boom.
We've got this concept of time creating a non-force of gravity. No, that's just incorrect, Paul. Sorry. Gravity is not a force. Quote, Professor Brian Cox. Gravity is not really a force at all. End quote. Or George Musa. Quote. Gravity is not a force, but you can think of it as a force. End quote. Gravity's not a force.
Then I'll change it. It's weight. These gas particles have weight.
Fine, wait.
They have this
Hold
thing
on.
called mass.
Hold on. Weight, when it is asserted by the fundamentalist religious zealotry that is a globe believer, also invokes Newtonian gravity, which is claimed to be a force, debunked by a helium balloon. Downward vector, exclusively downward vector. Like with the gas that doesn't go down, go boom boom, you can debunk it with a helium balloon. Nevertheless, when you say weight, you will be invoking gravity, as in the original question, where's this gravity coming from? Not another mathematical reification that invokes gravity when you say weight. What is gravity?
I don't know. I really don't know.
It's a not actual force, a mathematical reification, the bending of conceptual mediums known as space-time, existing only in the Einsteinian mathematics of pseudo-Ramonian force space. Length, breadth, depth, and time. Not real. Conceptual. Not a force. Not holding gas here. So yeah, in summary, without the container, there can be no pressure. If the sky was a vacuum, the gas we breathe would fill the space.
Oh, here I got another one for you. Actually, I was going to bring it up earlier, but I couldn't do it. But I'll try to do it real quickly now. I did watch a video this morning, and what they were talking about what creates mass inside of particle. Well, their explanation was that if you just actually weigh, of course, Lily has just decided to talk. There's not enough mass. Okay, I'll have to tell you later.
No worries. I'll leave your GIF on screen in the meantime. Any comment from Discord?
Great show, like always.
No, it's not over yet. It's going to be an after show. Got a couple of new participants in Discord. Anybody got anything to add before I round out and ask people to stay tuned? Don't all go at once.
I've got a quiet moment to try to explain what I've heard this morning on this video. I'll try to. Basically, like there's not enough mass in an electron to count for the mass of the particle. There's not enough in the proton that can count for the mass of the particle because of just the way it is. I'm kind of summing it up, so I may be butchering it pretty bad. But there's quarks inside the proton that create the proton. They are moving so fast at light speed around each other. That is what causes the mass. It's these quarks that are moving really fast. Even there's not enough mass within the particle, the quarks, but their speed and momentum is what's causing mass. So
What's
that's
mass?
the explanation of where mass comes from.
Yeah, what is mass?
Well, they say it's the amount of stuff. So if that's true, then his explanation is wrong because it doesn't match that.
That's mole. That's mole.
Well, it's inertia. You know, inertia is a property of mass. So
this is an equivocation fallacy then?
I guess so.
With that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you, first and foremost, to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's live show possible. If you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Massive thank you to all of you who did tune in live, smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, and all that good stuff. Once again, stay tuned if you're watching on either Premiering stream. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Did I get hurt at all?
Yeah. Well, got to the point that you agreed that it was a reification fallacy, and then I rounded out the show. Was there something else you wanted to add, Paul? My bad.
No, yeah, I guess in a way, because we have talked about energy before in this discussion when it comes to things moving. Like when you pick it up, you're imparting potential energy to the object, and then it's the kinetic energy is what's causing that. And it's funny how they kind of went back to that in a way. What's causing the mass or causing the resistance to acceleration is this energy involved, the potential energy inside the particle, inside the atom or whatever. It was kind of interesting. I'm gonna try to find the video and drop it in Master B.
Cool. Thank you very much. Also, we had a shout out to do, which I didn't do. Shout out to Alexander in the aftermath. Globe went boom boom, literally. Thank you for the super chat, Alexander. Sorry you can't hear this.
So Ed Freeze is back today. I had a conversation with him in the Discord text. Are you there, Ed?
He was destroyed yesterday. Send him home.
With who, sorry?
Yeah, I asked him, Ed Freeze.
Oh, God.
Just basically, I asked him, I said, if I want... Oh, sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt someone.
Yeah, go ahead, Crit.
Basically, all I would ask is that, okay, if I'll take his word for it, Black Swan is debunked, can he give me a distance in, with a number and a unit to tell me where his horizon would be? That's the only thing I need from him to accept that Black Swan is debunked. And he just spammed parrot memes after that.
Parrot memes, as in, you're reiterating the argument that I have no rebuttal for, so therefore telling you that you're a parrot is my rebuttal.
And then finally a claim that I do not have a brain. I'm a non-functioning human.
Yeah, that's standard fare, right? Yeah, standard fare. Like Thunderfoot. You're all morons. You didn't understand my dumbed-down explanation that made no sense and didn't address your argument. You don't understand.
All I need. Any globalist out there, tell me a number that represents a distance and also give me the unit of where your horizon is. That's the only thing I need, and I'll consider Black Swan debunked.
Yeah, that you get that from the peace statement in the Modus Tollens, because that's based on their fundamentalist religious zealot assertion that the Earth is a sphere that we stood upon. That's in the peace statement. That's where you get the measurement from. They claim that that statement, which is their religious worldview, is a straw man. In other words, if the Earth is a sphere with a radius 3959, they say that's a straw man. That's their belief, and they call it straw man. Another way that they say you've won. We have no rebuttal to this other than to admit defeat with our claim to be rebuttal of the peace statement, which is my worldview that Earth's a sphere, is a straw man.
Ed, I think Ed tried to talk. So, Ed, what is this distance and what is the unit? Present when ready, please.
Yeah, we've been over that. You're ignoring refraction.
Consider that I am ignoring refraction. Can you give me a distance and a unit, please?
Not geometry. We went over this yesterday, Ed. We even showed you a citation which made it explicitly clear that Al-Biruni isn't dealing with refraction. Of course not. He's doing geometry. Obviously he's not dealing with refraction. He can't be accounting for it if he's doing geometry. And then we've pointed out how thick you were for not understanding geometry, so you're going to come back and tell us about refraction again? Thick shit. What are you doing here, you moron? We told you off for this, you thick shit. Geometry isn't refraction, you stupid idiot.
Oh, are you really that angry already?
I'm not angry, I'm telling you you're thick. That's not me being angry, it's me telling you off for being a thick shit. Which you are, because you think that refraction has something to do with geometry, when Al-Biruni is explicitly detailed in citation to not be dealing with refraction because he's doing geometry. This was all explained to you at length. You didn't understand, you kept telling us how refraction was accounted for by Al-Biruni, even though in the face of a citation that said it wasn't. Making you a fuckwit moron. Not angry, just dealing with a fuckwit moron, that's you.
No, not really.
Yeah, definitely.
No, you're mad.
Yeah, definitely. No, don't ad hom me, that's why I kick you out. I've got justified reason to call you a fuckwit moron. You think that when doing geometry you need to account refraction. That makes you a fuckwit. Don't call me any names. You haven't had anything on me to demonstrate me being stupid. You, on the other hand, keep telling us about Al-Biruni's refraction account, which he hasn't got to do if he's doing geometry, making you a spastic. So don't tell me I'm thick. Don't ad hom me. You are thick by demonstration. You were told all day yesterday, you just didn't listen, you stupid moron.
Yeah, refraction could never have been established if the geometry wasn't measured first, Ed?
I
You understand that?
Yeah, exactly, Arwin.
How many times?
Hold on, Chocolate.
How many times are we gotta tell? Go ahead.
I was just going to say, exactly, Arwin. If you're going to claim refraction, the refraction used in your globe geometry, the bit Al-Biruni's measuring to give you R, the bit in the globe geometry that's called refraction is based on R. So you absolutely still need geometry. You need to acquire the R value, like Al-Biruni's claimed to be doing. Yeah? And you told us how we can't see it. How atmosphere's there, therefore we can't see geometric horizons. Well, Al-Biruni therefore can't measure them. It's where he died yesterday. But then there was a lot of Discord rumblings. Now I've just muted him. Go fuck yourself, you stupid spastic.
Word.
Who's that, Ed Freeze?
Yeah, thick as shit.
You destroyed him yesterday. He hung himself 3 times in less than an hour.
3? Maybe I lost count because it was more than 3. They destroyed himself. It's like it comes here. Oh, you guys mad? Not really. It's just this is corny having the same conversation with you when you were told you the thing and you just don't want to understand it. Like what? After you're destroying your own argument with refraction.
No, he doesn't even know. Q, right. He's just listening to what they're talking about.
That's because you're talking to a wall. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Had a better conversation with walls, actually.
We discussed it in the pre-show. So we were saying about counselling. It's like it'd be nice to get to the point where they go, holy shit. So my basis, the religious basis I have with this R value at its heart and my refraction rebuttal being utilised by way of that R measured by Al-Biruni, leaves my model untenable. Because I can't measure R, I can't use it as a presupposition if I can't measure it. And that's where the argument ends. How depressing. Now, as 10th Man detailed in the pre-show, it's like that would be the point that we'd take them by the hand and go, yeah, you're in the same boat as us, it's shit. Because not only that, if they actually demonstrated this by way of some humility, not that we will ever get that, but if they did, it'd be like, yeah, now unfortunately, like us, you're stuck with this situation where all the people who are around you laughing at us are now going to start laughing at you. Just because you've recognised that your model's untenable and you can't presuppose R anymore because of this Black Swan argument. Now, we won't get that. What we get is a regression to either anger or denial. The earlier stages. So in this instance, denial. No, it's you that's stupid. No, you've not comprehended or recognised the argument that's taken apart your religious belief, and your response to that is to call me stupid. Just denial. Pathetic.
And then come back and do the same thing again the next day. Like Groundhog's Day for these people.
It's even worse than that because he said yesterday, if I'm right, because I didn't listen to the show, that Al-Biruni had refraction in his calculations, and then we pull up a citation that says Al-Biruni did not use refraction in his citations, and as Arwin put it, you'd have to establish the radius and the geometric horizon to even get your terrestrial 7/6R refraction numbers. And
Precisely.
he doesn't get this?
No, what he then asserts is you're not accounting for refraction. Reassert the same circle jerk to buy himself another day of cognitive dissonance. Pain relief. That's all they're doing. So, at the end of it, when we actually got to the point where he couldn't get out of it, he couldn't weasel his way out of it, his response was, who cares? Who cares that you fundamentally destroyed the premise of R that my religious belief and the refraction rebuttal I've used here is based on? Who cares? That's just denial. Flat out denial. Not moving on to, oh right, my religious belief's been pummeled. I can't beg the question with R anymore. I can no longer trust in this R value because it can't be measured. There's no validation for it whatsoever. And my rebuttal to an awkward situation where it's in a geometric impossibility of a location is to say that we can't see Earth curve. Therefore, Al-Biruni can't see it to give him the R. That's the end of the model. It's imploding at that point. His rebuttal is we can't see Earth curve. We can't see a geometric horizon unless atmosphere is removed. So what about all the days that it's blocking boats and buildings? Or when Al-Biruni's measuring it? Response? Who cares? Well, no, not who cares. The death of your globe belief. But are we going to get an ounce of humility for an acceptance and an explanation whilst enduring abject ridicule, left, right and centre, as we detail this? Well, what will he get as his grand prize if he actually understands and acknowledges it? Well, he gets to recognise the ridicule that is dished out to us. Dished out to him. Well, that sounds like a big plus. No, I think they're more logically inclined to go backwards in terms of pain and just constantly go through this cycle of denial, anger, and then bargaining over and over again. Well, that's going to tire you out. Mentally, this is going to fuck you up, Globers. But keep it up. You know, more power to you. Your pain is my entertainment. It's the audience's amusement. Your constant circle jerking with the same demolished arguments. Good for you. Can't be very pleasant cognitively, though. Probably very painful.
That was a poignant moment in the conversation yesterday when everything he threw at you, he had to admit was proven wrong by saying, well, who cares? I'm still going to believe it.
Yep. Share your pain, guys.
And
Share
again,
your pain.
they ask us, who cares if the Earth is flat? Well, when it gets to the point in the argument where we demonstrate beyond all certitude, with logical consistency and demonstrations that the Earth cannot be a sphere, you tell us who cares? Who cares that it doesn't work anymore and that our value's been demolished? Who cares? Well, at a base level, you should care. It's your religious belief. You, fundies, who'll come back and assert the same exact shit tomorrow.
Okay, I just got Ed to agree.
Server, and they ask you, who cares if it's flat? You do, obviously, because something about it brought you here, right? Nobody went to your house and pulled you out of bed to tell you to get on the show or listen, right? But that's what you want, right? So flat Earth has affected you in some way or not, or another.
Yeah, that's what I meant about the woman that you put on the line earlier, Chocolate. All right, so she's already at that stage then. Morpheus is in front of her with the pills. It's pretty serious, right? For her, she's at that point.
Yeah. She's fighting it. She's at the point where it's like, it's when Neo's when Morpheus just showed her, or Morpheus just showed Neo the real world, and he's like, no, let me out. That's where she is.
No, it's the moment when Morpheus shows Neo that he's actually a battery. That's when he really flips.
When I watched that in the movie theatre, that got a hilarious laugh from everyone in the audience. Everyone laughed their heads off when he put that Duracell battery on screen.
Yeah?
Yeah. Everybody burst out laughing. A British movie theatre, 1999, first showing. I'd never seen the movie. At the point where he turns the battery around and says, to turn you into this, and then he shows the Duracell, everyone pissed themselves laughing.
Wow. When I first saw that,
was that a nervous
of
laughter, though? Was that a nervous laughter, though? Like, oh, shit.
No. I think Brits recognise the absurdity. Saying you're a battery, or the equivalent of a Duracell battery, is absurd, so it got a laugh.
Yeah, the Brits are witty.
Ridiculous. When I saw that, I felt dread. Why don't they get it? Like,
well, you're not as witty as the British.
This should entice some fundy conversation. We're talking about Matrix. Second only to Back to the Future, I would say.
Well, like, kind of,
Are we
for
supposed
me, I
to
would
do
say
a whole show where we talk about the Matrix or something?
Yeah.
We were going to. It never came to pass. Go on. Hold on 1 second, Owen. Go ahead, Chris.
Okay, so for me, I like this as more of a, like, the dream movie, like Inception. So I basically said in chat here, they asked me why, they turned it back on me. I have to prove Black Swan. I said, Roger that. I accept your challenge, and I cannot give you a unit and a number to the horizon, so I'm not going to claim a geometric horizon. Then they started attacking me and stuff. I said, so this is kind of my inception. I know I'm not dreaming, because if someone does give an answer to that, I would have to check if I'm in some sort of inception at that point. Like,
I did.
Like the top
check if you're in Inception. I did give you an answer. Do you not remember what I gave you?
I'm in Bizarro World.
Yeah, I gave you the answer. Their worldview is laid down as the P statement in modus tollens. The P statement is the affirmative claim that Earth is a sphere. That's their religious belief, the P statement. If Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, that's their claim of a globe Earth, by the way, then every distance to horizon measurement can be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That's the globe Earth assertion that a 6-foot man sees a 3-mile horizon, because it's a physical Earth curve edge obstruction based on the geometry with a claim of a globe Earth. So while he's saying, I can't give you a figure, I don't care, he's not the arbiter of globe geometry. That's the 3959 radius value. That's the globe Earth maths laid down in all the mathematics based on the geometry. That is where you get the measurement for a globe Earth claim. Now, the fact that we've taken their claim based on its geometry and debunked it now leaves them saying, well, I can't give you a figure for how the geometric... Yeah, we can, it's geometry. They just go on about refraction like it's relevant. No, it's geometric. That's what you're claiming. Geometric physical obstruction of boats and buildings by way of physical Earth curve edge obstruction. And that's geometry. But if you can't see geometric horizons, that'd be Earth curve, then we don't see Earth curve. And Al-Biruni didn't measure Earth curve. And it only exists in the maths. Now I'm into the quotes from their side. We wouldn't expect to see geometric horizons. That's Earth curve. Geometric horizon only exists in the maths. That's Earth curve. Only exists in Earth curve maths. The bye-bye globe model, there's no Earth curve. You can't assert it with an Earth curve calculator. You need R. Where are you going to get it from? Where are you going to measure it? Oh, right, with no Atmo day. Like Al-Biruni's claimed to have done? Oh, no, he was claimed to just be able to measure geometry. The same geometry that's destroyed by the Black Swan. So it's game over globe. It's downhill from here. Don't have to like it. Calling your own religion a straw man is just going to get a laugh and a welcome to flat Earth from us.
Oh, yeah, you said it more eloquently than I did. That's kind of what I was getting to. I'd be like, can I get a unit and a distance, please? No? Welcome to flat Earth. That's kind of what... you said it much better than I did.
Yeah, shouldn't you be able to give us that, considering you think the Earth's a sphere, provable by the mathematical model you shove in our face, and compared to pictures that include perspective when you show us the side of our own head, and whole numbers of targets that don't change in angular size? Yeah, that's all geometry, you morons. Utilising the R value. Remember Mick West? Yeah, we assume the R. It's based on the standard model. Well, that's a geometric model, you clowns. And it's claimed to have a derivative from Al-Biruni measuring the geometry. The same geometry you say we don't see. The same geometry that is ipso facto Earth curve that we do not have. Earth is flat.
What's interesting, too, is they change, like, in Discord, there's, like, dozens of people with some sort of quantum play on their name. Why not simply just change their name all to this number in this unit? And then why, this idea of that imitation is the most serious form of flattery. Why not just present your geometric horizon? And just everywhere you look, all you see is this number that they claim. But they don't. They would rather perform this sort of mockery imitation thing that really just props up QE and shows them how much he nailed it out of the park with his argument. It's so perfect.
I agree. I mean, it's potential because it's an unknown entity, QE coming up with a modus tollens formulation that debunks the model from him within the presupposition of an R value. Once you're at that stage, it's going to accelerate things. But you need the comprehension on both sides. Now, we haven't discussed this up until now, but we are now reaching and breaching that point where people are definitely comprehending it. So yeah, it's rapidly downhill from, as far as I can ascertain. There's nothing to come back from this with. It's just the implosion of the heliocentric assertion, and that's it. There's nothing else.
The only thing I've seen that is even remotely clever, like in the pre-show where I talked about the moon bouncing oxygen, that I've seen a lot more like hollow earthers or concave earthers using Black Swan as an intellectual firepower for their argument now. That the horizon is going up, around, and over your head.
Oh yeah.
And like, well,
well, they've got to get an R value too. They have the inverse model to the heliocentric assertion with the stars on the inside, but they use the same R value. The mathematics is basically the same. So if they've got where do they get their R value from?
The reverse R.
Where are you getting that from? Concavers. What a joke.
Yeah, I know. That's why I think it's interesting, though, because at least they're offering an argument. They're not offering an ad hoc. And I would prefer to talk to somebody like that because at least my goal is to try to understand another individual. And if they want to say, hey, I see your black swan thing and I raise you concave Earth. I'm like, sure, certainly, Toby. Let's talk about that. That sounds interesting. I got a couple of minutes to kill here. Let's go over it.
Right, well, if you'll raise me concave Earth, I'm all in, man, with my geocentric and dick Earth models.
Yeah, all in. I sometimes do that too. I think Chocolate's seen that, where I like a meme where it shows a guy pushing poker chips in.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to push in a geocentric azimuthal equidistant projection of a sphere alongside a giant dick and go, I'm all in. In serious note, the Dick Earth model is a very difficult theory to swallow.
No, not that.
I was waiting for it for someone to do it. I didn't want to say it.
It's not that difficult.
Not a scientific theory. Just have to do the research. You just got to cram it all in.
Not if your name is Linda.
Well,
No, you
I
just
think
got to do the measurements.
the only one that could get away with what you're saying is Richard Feynman.
Why?
Because the short name for Richard is Dick.
Oh, Dick Feynman.
Oh,
yeah, I don't know if Dick Feynman's a proponent of the Dick Earth model, though. That's just coincidence.
I think when you say that word, I'm thinking of Dick Feynman. So he's the only one that can get away with it.
Dirty old man.
I don't cast aspersions on Richard Feynman. How dare you?
I know what you're saying. I just made it clean.
Hold on. Mine was better with not if your name is Linda.
Excuse me?
Tiffany.
Linda Lovelace.
Baking powder?
Come on, Neil.
I don't get it.
They're good. Hey, the P in the modus tollens.
Can't explain it to you.
Thank you. The P is the best form of flattery to a baller, because what we're saying is, okay, you're begging the question when you say it's a sphere without proving it first, but we're going to say that the P is if Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959. We're basically giving them the proper way, and they're not even getting it.
Yeah, we have to go into the begging the question fallacy that is their assertion, because they wouldn't accept that to beg the question is a logical fallacy. Yeah, of course we beg the question. Of course we assume Earth's a sphere. Oh, right, so we've got to go into begging the question to debunk it within the assertion. Well, that's, by anybody else's standards, in any other discussion, wouldn't be tolerated. But because it's the fundamentalist religious zealotry that is encompassing people's worldview, and they automatically assume that they are correct in their worldview, that we are on a sphere in a vacuum, then you have to go into the assertion that we're on a sphere in a vacuum to debunk the assertion based on its own geometry and parameters, which is what the Black Swan has done. But then what do? Well, they say that the P statement, which is us reaffirming their begging the question fallacy that Earth's a sphere, is a straw man. Yet that's your claim, that's your belief. Straw man, welcome to Flat Earth.
Well, Nathan, I think that maybe the ballers just have a lot of trouble swallowing the P in the argument.
Yeah, boom, boom.
Oh, Arwen, you're in trouble.
It's your fault.
It's Friday, we're allowed to have a little giggle. There's a 12-year-old in all of us somewhere. Let's just have a few more fat jokes.
Well, they go up, they don't go down, boom, boom.
Farts do indeed expand in all directions, that's correct. Right, we've got the Dick Earth jokes out of the way, fart jokes out of the way, P jokes out of the way. Any more for any more. Toilet humour, this is no limits, no holds barred, feel free.
Oh, right, I got one. Not dirty.
Hang on, no toilet humour, because you're going to get on a roll.
You're going to shit all over me. No, but back to the ballers, the ballers, why do they keep coming back? When they declare that we're basically talking word soup, well, maybe they're just really, really hungry for more word soup. You know, they're
Pain
like
relief.
bums, and they can't really interact with other people too well without cursing at them. But yeah, they still go to that word soup kitchen every day, you know, because they got to survive.
Pain relief.
Well, that's why their favorite canned soup is alphabet soup.
I got actually an insight. Oh,
No,
did I
that didn't
cut
get
someone off?
anything.
FED is a word soup kitchen.
Come on, chocolate, back me up, man.
I got some.
Oh man.
I used to spell words with the alphabet soup. Come on.
Yeah. Was that soup? Was it flat and level on the top?
Yeah. The liquid was level, but there was a low refraction. So
I don't know. Whenever I have alphabet soup, I find myself scraping all the gas that's formed on the top layer, like a skin.
Do you spit out the R's?
In disgust.
Oh my gosh.
I actually got some insight on the topic about why they keep coming back. And what I did was maybe it's like 3 weeks ago. I didn't share the story yet, so it's new. But one of this guy said because he wants me to know that I'm wrong, and I'm like, sure, I'm wrong. Okay, can you leave me alone now? And he said no. I'm like, why? Because I need to know why I was wrong. I'm like, okay, I'm wrong because you said so. Are we good? Can you leave me alone now? And he said no. And I'm like, why? Because I need to save the Earth as a globe now. I go, I'm not going to do that. Will you leave me alone now? And then finally we got to the point going back and forth, and I said, I know a Discord server where they're documenting werewolves in the national park system. Let's go talk to them, okay? And will you tell them that they need to accept that there are no werewolves? Or you just be like, oh yeah, they're kind of crazy, I'm just going to leave those people alone. And we went to the Discord and we read the stuff. He asked a couple questions, and some people showed them the moon phases, and these are when people have disappeared. The werewolves don't eat children. They went on and on. He answered all his questions. And he said, yeah, they're a special type of crazy. I'm going to leave those people alone. I said, please do the same thing for me now. Leave me alone. Are we good? And he said, yeah, we're good.
They've got their own little clique, though, haven't they? The werewolf people.
Yeah, they're actually kind of interesting. They're kind of delightful, and if you ask them, they'll tell you everything. They got maps drawn out. They got heat maps. They've got all the park services, like all the entryways covered. They've actually tried to plot out where the werewolf's lairs would be. And I just kind of feel like if someone wants to be an anti-werewolfer, they could go there, but the people are just going to present their argument. It's kind of like here, I feel the same thing. None of these people actually believe the globe. They just don't want you. They want a sort of a one idea. They want a globalist idea where there is no other ideas that are allowed. Only the one idea is welcome. And that right there debunks their model. Because if their model had endless space, there would be enough space for all ideas.
Yeah, but this idea of werewolves, I mean, it's a pretty serious issue at a political level. Obviously, back in the day, you had Obama telling people that we don't have time for a meeting of the Werewolf Society. Remember?
Yeah, that too. I know.
Oh, yeah, no.
I'm just wondering if
I think it's because most of these
idea-
clowns, I think most of these clowns just think the same way Michelle Dollar does, right? It's not okay to think that the Earth is flat. You must think the way we think, the way we tell you to think. That's what these clowns are.
We're talking about werewolves.
Yeah, that's nice. I don't care about the werewolves, to be honest.
I'm just wondering if the Werewolf Society is open 24/7 except once a month.
No, there's a whole
they're very six.
There's a whole government branch dedicated to trolling the werewolf forums and chat comments under YouTube videos and such like. They dedicate a huge amount of time to it. It's obviously deeply concerning for the government.
No, the government's looking for what makes it a howling success.
How?
Yeah, like
nice.
Yeah, do you see the government like taking down that Discord? Like if they say the wrong thing and they just delete their Discord and their Facebook pages, and this the absolute silencing of all werewolf talk.
Oh, wouldn't you know there is actually a werewolf society? Michael J. Fox is the president of it. Did you know that?
themselves on a regular basis into hairy situations, but they always get out of it again.
Harry, listen, all you need to do is focus on Red Riding Hood and you'll figure it out.
That reminds me of an old Viz joke. So, Little Red Riding Hood is walking along and she hears some rustling in the bushes and she looks over the bush and there's a wolf there. And she goes, "Oh, wow, haven't you got big eyes?" And the wolf just looks at her. And she says, "Haven't you got big ears?" And the wolf sort of rolls his eyes and looks around a bit. He goes, "Haven't you got big feet, Mr. Wolf?" And the wolf says, "Look, Red Riding Hood, do you mind? I'm trying to take a shit here."
Nice. That's a good one.
You're full of crap, Nathan. I don't get it.
Full of crap?
Well, Dave, he could say it a third time if you want him to.
Like Richard the Turd, commonly known as Dick the Shit.
The King of England, Richard III.
That's the one. Oh, it's been a fun-filled Friday of dick and fart jokes, hasn't it?
Oh, crap. Today's Friday?
Yeah, man. Happy days.
All right, man. See y'all later. I gotta go.
This goes out on Sunday, though.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's going to be a shitty Sunday. No.
Unless you're a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, then you could have watched this 36 hours ago. Or 48 hours ago. Or however many hours ago it is at the weekend.
So in the absence of ballers, because Black Swan took care of them after from January to July, almost August here, we're doing fart jokes.
That's all good by me. We're all rejuvenated come Monday. I quite like the gap at the weekend with the delayed release of these after shows because there's still material going out of the weekend. I get a bit of a break because I'm basically living, breathing and you-know-whatting YouTube 24/7 during the week. That said, it's still 50% of my time at the weekend, even though I'm not actually broadcasting live. Often I'm making videos and such, but it gives me a bit of a break. But it also means that come Monday, typically, if you listen to any Monday show, I will typically release that on a Friday night. So our Monday show from this week, if you can cast your mind back, had an exceptionally good housekeeping session. It lasted about 45 minutes. And we went through details in all of the different questions because everyone's had a weekend off. So back in the day when I did it every single day like Arwin does, I mean, Arwin's different because it's him, right? It's down to him and his enthusiasm every day he does it. But with us doing it now 5 days a week instead of 7 days a week, I tend to find that throughout the week there's a sort of ebb and flow of the show. It does have a certain consistency to it. So typically, your early week shows will have better housekeeping. So towards the end of the week, you're like, are we even going to bother? We're like 50 minutes into the show, we've covered one question.
Right. Well, that makes sense. Beginning of the week, we get very strict on the housekeeping question. Middle of the week, ballers come in and say very stupid things. You get pissed off. And then at the end of the week, it's like, It's like almost works off, so it's like weekend time. We get silly.
Yeah, audio or acoustic treatment or cars or films or whatever it is. But it's Friday, right? Sunday, if you're watching this on Nathan Oakley channel.
Another track has been laid down.
Music track?
Outstanding.
Oh, Lord.
The original or is it a cover?
The track.
You do know.
He said another the track.
Well, wait a minute. Come on, I got a joke. Come on, John. You got to wipe your butt so you won't have tracks. Come on.
Oh my goodness.
You've entered a dick and fart joke session. Terrible.
Paul, that was terrible.
You're our jokes.
Good luck to me, Kiwi.
I would stop pampering Kiwi, Paul.
You're on fire today, Ted.
This is what happens when there's no globe, no geometric horizon, no sky vacuum. I mean, this is what happens. We just have fun.
Right.
While all the globers listen to us in their pain, while they sit there listening to us having fun on their behalf. Too bad, so sad.
and we sound happy and, you know, telling jokes and all that. Go to one of those places, right? That those just filled with Globers. They're miserable. They are truly
Yes, they
miserable.
are. They really are, man. You are not lying at all. They're miserable with themselves. They might have a little joke here or there. Oh, this flat earther, blah, 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 blah. But they are miserable. You can hear it in their voices. They are suffering. It's hilarious to me.
Well, do what I do. I take one of these tracks and I go I give it to them as an olive branch per se.
That's an olive branch?
Hold time, space, religion.
Hold on. Are you trying to plug? Have you released this track? Because if so, when this goes out on Sunday, I'll spam it in the link in the chat feed.
Nah, I don't. What do you mean by release?
Publish to YouTube.
Nah, I ain't publishing these to YouTube, man. I'll be copyright strike faster than you can say community guidelines.
I just want to know how your singing is an olive branch.
It's a branch,
Oh,
like from a
ouch.
tree, made. The tree being a tree for olives.
No, I know.
Branch from one of them.
I thought the music sounded good because I have John's problem. I can't sing either, but he's got more guts than me. He actually puts out tracks.
Check out that backhanded slide.
John,
Hey,
do you
Kiwi
make
can
your own
hum some
meals?
bars.
No, that's not slight. That's true.
Oh.
No, that's the way to do it. Slightly self-deprecating. Huey's just like me. He sings like shit too.
Nathan,
He's
I
got
heard
more
you.
guts. He actually publishes his. I don't.
I'm just waiting for a Kiwi chocolate rap battle.
That won't happen. Kiwi's not into rap.
Oh, really?
No, chocolate versus Witsit.
Did you hear the song the other day?
Kiwi, are you into rap?
Go ahead.
Remember he was all
kick that
vegan and all
line.
that?
Kick that line, John. Go ahead.
Well, I understand most things rappers say because rapping is my thing, and I do it every day.
Is that the only line?
There you go, son.
Okay, I stand corrected.
I'm trying to raise John's hood IQ. That's what I'm trying to do.
So
Come on. Give him a few more chocolate.
You're saying he's not street?
Nah, I don't know what street he is, but he's not these streets.
No,
Nathan,
What
John is more of
the
a
heck
bull
did
dog.
I-
He's
I'm
saying
all
he's not
about
street.
street, man. I'm the street.
He's the streetest
You're
of
the
the
neat
street.
street.
He's as straight as asphalt itself.
No, I was saying, I was half done with what I said. I said John is more of a boulevard because he deals with blockheads.
Just give me one moment. I'm going to look up street in the Urban Dictionary. I've forgotten what it actually means.
Comes from streetwise.
But John will know. What does street mean
Definition
again?
is chocolate.
What is street mean again?
Street's gangster.
No, that's gangster. They're different words, John. If street was gangster, it would be gangster, wouldn't it? Let's not be silly
Yeah,
here.
it would. Yeah. Street is road, man.
That's technically true. Not very gangster, though.
No, it's a lot of gangsters. There's a lot of
hilarious.
roadkill.
But seriously, street comes from streetwise. It's like the commonly knowing how to get around. Bottoms up. Society.
Next time on How White Is Your Guru?
Bottoms up. Come on, chocolate. You know that
Bottom
one.
up.
Bottoms
Sorry,
up,
I didn't
bottoms
know
up.
how to say that.
Hey, QE, I know running your own YouTube channel can be stressful. Is this your avenue that you're taking for...
Where's that tumbleweed sound effect? Shit.
By the way, I got issues with Kiwi and the amount of time he comes in Flat Earth debate. Not enough.
Another word for street could be grassroots urban.
Yes, that's often how I hear the homies referring to it, Arwin. Thank you.
No, that's a technical description. Trying to figure out what it means. Can't explain what street means in street. That doesn't work.
All you gotta do is ask John what's peeping.
Right.
Well,
It always ends up in a red herring fallacy. That was my point.
The only reason Nathan got away by saying homie is because he has housekeeping questions.
Jeez, man.
It just doesn't sound right.
Is my mic working?
Tap, tap. Is this thing on?
Yes, it is, Neil.
Okay.
But you're just trying to get away from the tracks. That's all you guys are trying to do.
Yes, we are.
I think you heard you got a preview of my second track, and you're like, wait, hold up, Chocolate can't be putting out tracks out here.
I think that's it.
I mean, you got to get away.
I got one. I got the next one, man. I think I'm gonna do one more.
Let's have a couple.
Yeah, I'm punching so far above my weight, man.
Let's have a couple of seconds of it. I'm sure I can get away with a couple of seconds.
Baltar, Space Funk, yeah.
That sounds good.
I can't lie. I had fun listening to it.
It's a shame. It's almost too good. It's almost too
I
Hendrix.
immediately understand the entire song.
Yeah, same here. Ace, contextually, that's all we need. With that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G Plus panels for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you in either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering streams for hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!